Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. My name is Ansar. Welcome to our webinar. We will begin shortly. Just, I want to give a couple of minutes to people to come in. Meanwhile, I'm trying to set up my monitor and share my screen. There is an ongoing construction in my house today, so if there is some noises you can hear, sorry about that. I didn't want to cancel the webinar. Let me check my chat. Everyone, okay, great. Let's get started in 3 minutes. Hi, Giuseppe. I am not speaking at the moment. That's why you are not unable to hear. We'll start in right now, actually. Okay, let's get started. No problem at all. Thank you. So again, welcome everyone to our monthly webinar series. We explore the latest developments in the world of cybersecurity. In today's session, we will delve into the top 10 cyber incidents that occurred in the past month and discuss their impact on organizations and individuals alike. As technology continues to evolve and become more sophisticated, so the threats we face online, it is essential to stay informed and aware of the latest cybersecurity risks and trends to protect ourselves and our businesses from potential harm. We will analyze each incident, discuss its implications, and provide practical advice on how to safeguard against similar threats, whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business owner, or simply someone interested in staying up to date with the latest trends. This webinar is just for you. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the world of cybersecurity together. Again, just a reminder, I'm really sorry there is an ongoing construction at my house. If there will be some noises, I apologize at the beginning. I didn't want to cancel the webinar today, so I'll try to finish without any problems, I hope. I'm trying to move the next slide. Okay, one of the news I like to share with you is, as you know, there was an operation to the RAID forum in previous months, and they shut down the RAID forum. There were some alternatives, and in the previous webinars I mentioned if there were some alternatives, I will definitely going to let you know. There is some other websites they're trying to replace the RAID forum. I'm going to talk about that. But first of all, there was a one exposure from the other forums. A database for the infamous RAID forums has been made public. An administrator posted the database on the new hacking forum called Exposed, presenting threat actors and security researchers valuable insights into the former forums users. RAID forums used to serve as a widely popular platform dedicated to hacking activities and data dissemination, as you know. Within this forum, threat actors would infiltrate various organizations, subsequently leaking and selling the data they acquire. The Federal Bureau of Investigation seized the RAID forum's website and infrastructure in April 2022 and arrested the site administrator, which was a 19-year-old guy, if you remember. Omnipotent after RAID forums and the hacker community gathered in a new forum called Breach Forum, Breachco, maybe you remember, to continue their illicit activities. However, the FBI also arrested the founder of Breach Forums, Pom in March 2023. So just after the 1 year RAID forums, Breach Forums replied to RAID, as you remember. Then in March 2023, FBI this time seized and shut down the Breach Forum and arrested the administrator, Pom. The co-administrator of the forum feared the law enforcement might have access to the Breach Forum server and had to shut down the forum entirely. To fill the gap in the market left by the Breach Forums, a new hacking forum called Exposed was recently launched and rapidly gained popularity. In my next slide, I'm going to talk about Exposed with its website. You can go ahead and check it. It is believed to be replaced the Breach Forum. On May 29th, 2023, Exposed forum administrator Impotent revealed the RAID forum's member database. The data is available, other threat actors, for researchers and law enforcement. If you go to the Exposed website, you can also download the database for the RAID forum. Leaked data has surfaced, consisted of a single SQL file containing registration information for RAID forums members. The data pertains to the MyBB users table used by the forum software to store details such as usernames, emails, hash passwords, registration dates, and other relevant forum-related information. Within the leak table, there's information for 478,087 RAID forum members. That's a lot of like 500,000 people's member register information is out there. From March 2015 to September 2022, suggesting that the database was dumped during that period, which is a 5-year period, and 500,000 of people's members database is out there. It has been reported that some rate form members have been removed from the database, but the exact timing and reasons behind the original data dump remain unknown. The legitimacy of the leak table has been supported by the fact that numerous accounts in the database contain already known registration information, and members of the exposed forum have also confirmed presence of the information in the MySQL table. So we said that there was one website to replace the rate forum, which was exposed. The other one is leakbase.cc, leakbase.cc. Also, you can find a lot of leaked information in this website. This website also have different names, as you can see on the screenshot, leakba.se, or on the left side, you can see the NIF data leak forum, leakbase.cc. It has different names. It is not clear which one is the original one, but as far as I know, the similar ones has a similar data leaks and similar construction, very similar to each other. Design and everything is same. So you can find all the informations in these forums. One other thing I like to mention, which was very important in May, there was a very advanced malware. The 5 alliances, 5 ICE members call it snake malware. Cybersecurity and intelligence agencies from all 5 ICE members. As you know, these 5 members are Canada, New Zealand, Australia, United States, and UK. These 5 ICE members nations took down the infrastructure used by the snake cyber espionage malware operated by Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB. This is important not because of it is developed by Russia, but it is important for me as a security researcher because this malware is extremely sophisticated and extremely complicated, and it is very important for researchers, for us to analyze such malwares, because in real hacker forums, dark webs, you cannot find these advanced tools actually, but when the state-sponsored hackers develop such tools, such advanced tools, it is very enjoyable to analyze this sort of tools because you can see the much more details, complications, sophistication, and at least it gives me the pleasure to analyze. That's why I wanted to bring to your attention as well. The development of the snake malware started under the name of Ouroboros in late 2003, while the first version of the implements were seemingly finalized by the early 2004, with the Russian state hackers developing the malware in attacks immediately after. The malware is linked to the Until with Center 16 of FSB, the notorious Russian tool hacking group, and was disrupted following the coordinated effort named Operation Medusa. This is the CISA's statement, not mine. The CISA itself said Snake to be the most sophisticated cyber espionage tool in FSB's arsenal. This is not my statement. Again, I want to underline, this is the CISA's United States CERT statement. They said Snake is the most sophisticated cyber espionage tool developed by the FSB so far. The sophistication of the Snake stems from the 3 principal areas. First, Snake employs means to achieve the rare level of stealth in its host components and network communications. Second, Snake's internal technical architecture allows for easy incorporation of newer or replacement components. This design also facilitates the development and interoperability of Snake instances running on different host operating systems. We have observed so far interoperable Snake implements for Windows, Mac OS, and the Linux operating systems. Lastly, the third one, Snake demonstrates careful software engineering design and implementation, with the implant containing surprisingly few bugs given its complexity. Following open source reporting by the cybersecurity and threat intelligence companies on Snake tactics, techniques, and procedures. By the way, you can find all the details about the Snake in SOC Radar platform as well. The FSD implemented new techniques to evade detection. As you know, For the malware tools, the most important thing is to not to be detected by the EDRs, antiviruses, next generation firewalls. And this also for Snake, it is valid for Snake. They developed a very advanced anti-detection tools for malware, which allow them to not catch by the antivirus systems or EDRs. The modifications to implement enhanced challenges in identifying and collecting Snake and related artifacts, directly hampering detection from the both host and network-based defensive tools. Following the effectiveness of this type of cyber espionage implement depends entirely on its long-term stealth, since the objective and extended espionage operation involves remaining on the target for months or years to provide consistent access to important intelligence. I definitely encourage everyone who was interested in malware analyzing to take a look at the Snake malware. Every month, we are also trying to bring your attention to new malwares, new threat actors, new tactics, new campaigns. Today, I want to bring your attention is a new ransomware group, Cactus. Researchers discovered a new ransomware group. They call it Cactus, operating since at least March 2023. Cactus steals data and encrypts files like other ransomware operations, but uses different methods to avoid detection. Again, in this case, the threat actors too much, they focus on the avoid detection techniques. And this is a good case for us because for this kind of ransomware, Cactus also developed the technologies for avoiding detection. Cactus, according to our analysis, gains initial access to the used victim's network by exploiting known vulnerabilities in Fortinet VPN appliances especially. So this was, as you remember, we were talking about the lesson learned from ransomware attacks. I mentioned, if you guys remember, I said that most of the time, this advanced APT actors or ransomware operators, they are not looking for new vulnerabilities. They are trying to exploit the old ones because most of the organizations, they don't bother each other's itself to close the vulnerabilities, the old ones. So instead of their spending time to find a new vulnerabilities on the organizations, this new ransomware groups, all the old ones or APT groups, they are trying to exploit the old ones. So Cactus is not different. They are also using the old vulnerabilities and gain access to network, especially for the major commercial organizations. How does Cactus ransomware operate? Cactus sets itself apart from the other ransomware operations by using the encryption to safeguard its binary. The actor uses the batch script to obtain encryption binary using 7-zip. To avoid detection, the attackers utilize a batch script and 7-zip to accurately encrypt the binary. Then they deploy the encrypted binary with an execution flag and remove the original zip archive. As you know, most of the time, to avoid the detection, threat actors using the zip files. So since zip files are closed, detection tools cannot open it up if it is encrypted and take a look what's going on inside the code. So using the zip code is not unusual. This case is valid for the Cactus as well. The Kroll researchers identified the 3 primary execution nodes. You can see the figure on the right. This figure is drawn by the Kroll researchers, and they said there's 3 primary execution modes to establish persistence and store data. They use the C/program data / integer.file. They use the setup or read configuration and command lines arguments. The encryptor later access the file using the our command line argument. The attackers supply a unique AES key via the encryption command line argument to perform file encryption. This key is required to decrypt the ransomware's configuration file and the public RSA key used to encrypt the file. The hex string containing the key is hard-coded into the encryptor's binary, and the coding itself reveals encrypted data that can be unlocked using the AES key. Upon execution, the binary with the appropriate I-parameter key, data can be accessed, and the malware can search for files and initiate the multi-thread encryption process. Use of different execution before and after the decryption. The ransomware researchers stated that the Cactus employs different file extension to targeted files depending on its processing state. Before the encryption, Cactus changes the file extension to CTS0. So .cts0, and after encryption, it changes the extension CTS1. Additionally, Cactus has quick mode. The ransomware encrypts files twice and add a new extension after each process .cts1, .cts7 when run into the both quick and normal modes. So if you see any suspicious .cts number files, you need to be much more careful. After gaining access to the network, the attackers utilize the scheduled task to maintain persistent access through the SSH backdoor that could be accessed from the command and control server. Based on our analysis, we found that Cactus utilizes a soft perfect network scanner, NetScan, to search for valuable targets on the network, and to carry out more extensive reconnaissance. The attacker employed the PowerShell command to enumerate endpoints, locate user accounts by inspecting successful logins into the Windows event viewer and ping remote hosts. Cactus ransomware also made use of modified version of the open source PSN map tool and PowerShell equivalent of the Nmet network. Maybe some of you is familiar with the PSN map tool. Cactus definitely use that. The ransomware operator employ multiple remote access methods, including legitimate tools such as Splashtop, AnyDesk, Super OPS, RMM, as well as Cobalt Strike and the Go-based proxy tool Chisel. After archiving privilege escalation on the machine, Cactus operates on a batch script that removes the most commonly used antivirus products. As with most ransomware operations, Cactus steals data from victims. The threat actor then transfers stolen files directly to cloud storage using the rclone tool. Following data exfiltration, the attackers use the PowerShell script called Total Execute to automate the encryption process, and a technique that Blackbuster ransomware has frequently used. So this indication shows us maybe Cactus has some cooperation or some moving together a strategy with the Blackbuster ransomware group. I like to also mention about the new malvertising campaign, which we recently discovered in May. It is called Lobshot, distributed through Google Ads. In previous webinars or CyberWatch series webinars, we already mentioned how dangerous Google's ads could be, because as you know, at the top of the search, there are some advertisement links, and those links are definitely not secure. And Google has taken not extra security of layer to protect its users against this advertisements. So far, I don't know any development. Maybe you know, but as far as I know, the threat is still there. If you are using the malicious link and give the advertisement to the Google, still you can, when the people search, you can be at the top of the pages which let people to the click. So this malware is similar to that, allows cyber criminals to take over infected Windows devices by using HVNC. The HVNC is a type of VNC, remote access software, customized to operate on a hidden desktop within an infected device rather than the main desktop used by the device owner. This allows malicious actors to gain complete remote control over the Windows desktop without the victim's knowledge. Lobshot malware spreads via fake sites, enables remote controls. Cyber criminals have increasingly been using the Google Ads to distribute the malware through research results. They do so by impersonating legitimate websites for popular applications such as 7-Zip, VLC Video Player, OBS, Notepad++, CCleaner, TradingView, and Rufus. So these ads appear to be a promote to legitimate AnyDesk remote management software, but actually lead to the fake AnyDesk site at ameydeece.e website. This website distributed a harmful MSI file that executed a PowerShell command to download the DLL file from download.cdn.com, a domain associated with the TA505 club ransomware gang in the past. However, the ownership of the domain has changed, and it is unclear whether it is club ransomware still using it or not. So far, this is not clear. The downloaded DLL file contains Lapshot malware, which is saved into the program data directory and then executed using rundll32.exe. According to the report by the security engineer team, more than 500 unique Lapshot samples have been observed since 2022. The samples are typically compiled with the 32-bit DLS or executables ranging from 93 kilobyte to 124 kilobyte in size. The main feature of the malware is it is HVNC module, as we mentioned, which involves creating hidden desktops and linking the malware. This allows the attacker to gain complete remote control over the infected device, enabling them to capture screenshots, use the keyboard and mouse, and perform other actions. Lapshot uses a technique called dynamic important resolution and tries to avoid being detected by resolving the names of the API's runtime. After being executed, the malware will verify whether Microsoft Defender is active or not. If it finds the Defender is active, it will immediately stop the execution and avoid getting detected. This part is very important. I want to repeat myself. The malware will verify whether Microsoft Defender is active or not. If it finds that the Defender is active, it will immediately stop its execution to avoid getting detected. But if it doesn't detect the Defender, it will create registry entries to start itself automatically whenever the user logins into the Windows. After that, it will extract the information about the infected device, such as currently running processes, and transmit it to the attacker's server. Lapshot targets the more than 50 browser extensions related to cryptocurrency wallets, so please much more be careful if you are using the extension for the cryptocurrencies. It's probably affected by the Lapshot. These extensions, affected extensions are for Chrome, Edge, and the Firefox mainly. After identifying the Chrome, Edge, and the Firefox extension, the Lapshot malware executes file located in the C program data directory. However, researchers were unable to confirm whether the file is used still extension data or has some other function, as it was not presented in their analysis. There is one new phishing as a service platform, Greatness. In the previous webinars, we also again talk about some new platforms, and this is also a new platform. But you may ask why every month we are talking about this new developments, because this is different than the others. If it is similar, I'm not going to bring your attention. I am always trying to find something interesting for you and for me as well when I do the research. With this new developments, the important thing is that with this platform, they do something different. And whatever, because as you know, from the offensive part and the defensive part develops something better, and offensive part has to do something better. So this is a kind of game between offense and defense. That's why every month, sometimes I need to bring this new platforms to your attention, because as I already mentioned and try to explain technically, they do something different, very important. And this is very important for us to analyze it, because we can, when we analyze it, what they develop, we can develop better strategies. So any phishing as a service We call it PHAASS or PAAS, however you call it, phishing as a service platform named Greatness has been leveraged by the cyber criminals. Actually, this service was out there. They target the businesses users for Microsoft 365 cloud services since 2022. But Greatness for now is only focused on the Microsoft 265 phishing pages. That's the only thing they do, providing its affiliatives with an attachment and the link builder that creates highly convincing decoy and the login pages. It contains features such as having the victim's email addresses pre-filled and displaying their appropriate company logo and background image extracted from the target organization's real Microsoft 365 login page. The campaign involves Greatness have mainly manufacturing, healthcare, and technology entities, especially in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa, and Canada, their main targets, with the spike in activity detected from March 2023. Phishing kits like Greatness offer threat actors, rookies, and otherwise a cost-effective and scalable one-stop shop, making it possible to design convincing login pages associated with the various online services and bypass the two-factor authentication protections. Specifically, the authentic-looking decoy pages function is a reverse proxy to harvest credentials and the time-based one-time password, TOTPs, entered by the victims. The attack chain begins with the malicious email containing an HTML attachment, which upon opening executes sophisticated JavaScript code that redirects the user to the landing page with the recipient's email already pre-filled and prompt for the password and two multi-factor authentication code. The entered credentials and tokens are subsequently forwarded to the affiliate's Telegram channel for obtaining unauthorized access to accounts in question. The AITM phishing kit also comes with the administration panel that enables the affiliate to configure the Telegram bot, keep track or stolen information, and even build booby-trapped attachment for links. There is also one other new platform, cross-platform threat with ransomware as a service and with the advanced features. Again, recently we discovered a new ransomware group called Cyclops group. This group takes pride in creating ransomware that can infect three significant platforms: Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system. They offer ransomware utilities as a service, which referred as a ransomware as a service, as you know, RAAS. Along the ransomware service, the group has shared a separate binary with the specific purpose of stealing sensitive data, including infected computer names and various processes. The Cyclops groups actively promotes their offering on the hacker forums and seeks a share of the profits from the users who use their malware. Cyclops has dedicated panel for distributing their ransomware across Windows, Linux, and Mac OS operating system. This panel has separate binaries for additional stealer components, catering specifically Linux and Windows. The Windows stealer extracts system information and creates password-protected zip files containing target files. The Linux stealer performs a similar function, creating password-protected zip files in the TMP directory. And the website also operates similarly to the bank. It has financial section that allow Cyclops attackers to withdraw the ransom payments they receive. The developer of the Cyclops actively address any issues that arise this platform and reward the value back. So anyone who has no technical backgrounds, no technical skills, if you want to do the ransomware operation, you can just go to these services and purchase it and use the platform. From 0 to 100, you can use everything: payment system, coding, infrastructure. They give you everything. As you know, ransomware as a service is very popular recently, and it is getting more and more popular every day. The Cyclops ransomware payload scan and identifies process running on the victim's machine, terminating any processes that could interfere with the encryption of targeted files. Based on our analysis, we can say that the payload retrieves information about the logical drives in the system and then enumerates the folders, dropping a ransomware note, a file name, how to restore your files.txt on the disk. Before encrypting a file, the payload checks if its file extension matches a predefined list. If not, the file is encrypted given a .cyclops extension. The attacker gathers information about the shadow copies on the victim systems, including their IDs, creation time, and the volume names. Then, using a specific ID, the payload deletes a chosen shadow copy by running a command through the Windows Management Instrumentation command line utility. The ransom note of the Cyclops provides instruction for the victims to visit an onion site, which is a dark website, as you know, not the surface website, where there may be the chance to recover their encrypted files. The Linux version of the compiled Golang and uses GCO with C integration. The binary file is stripped of function names to make reverse engineering challenging. It encrypts files with the specific extension, including files certain directories. A ransom note is dropped in each encrypted folder and statistical report is generated. So Kimsky is another threat actor, which is not new for this month, but since from 2023, they were getting some attention, but they are in May 2023, this popularity is in the top. That's why I want to mention the Kimsky a little bit about you. Historically, Kimsky targets have been located across countries in North America, Asia, and Europe. In the group's latest campaign, they continue their global targeting theme around the various ongoing geopolitical topics. For example, latest Kimsky campaigns have focused on the nuclear agendas between China and North Korea, relevant to the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. As you know, Kimsky is a North Korean hacker group. In recent campaign, Kimsky targeted the staff of Korea Risk Group, the information analysis firm specializing in the matters directly and indirectly impacting Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is South Korea. So their main target, of course, mostly Western countries, as you can understand, since their origin is North Korea. We can say that Kimsky threat actors and their hunting and detection efforts are very high. Our assessment is that the same campaign has been used to continue targeting organizations and individuals at least in the United States, Europe, and Asia, including think tanks, research universities, and governmental entities. This North Korean advanced APT group with a long history targeted attacks across the world, as we mentioned. Our current understanding of the group indicates they have primarily assigned to intelligence collection and espionage operations supporting the North Korean government since 2012. For deployment of Raccoon Shark, Kimsky continues to make use of specifically crafted phishing emails. Notably, the spear phishing emails are made with the level of design quality to enforce specific individuals, increasing the likelihood of the opening by the target. This includes proper formatting, grammar, and visual clues appearing legitimate to unsuspected users. So there used to be, I still give the cybersecurity trainings, but I used to tell the people in this trainings, when you try to notice the phishing emails, you have to check the grammar, because there used to be grammars, their grammars were terrible. But right now, this people working on the grammar, they hired language experts, to be honest, because they want their phishing is perfect. Because you can understand from yourself when you receive an email, if you see there's some typos or something, you are getting suspicious, right? Me too. I think everybody does. So that's why these hacker groups are polishing their grammar and typos and everything to make it their phishing much more perfect. In the malicious email, Kimsky emphasized the target to open a link, download password protected document, and most recently, they made use of Microsoft OneDrive to host the malicious document for download. So this is very important, I believe. This is not about the malware, ransomware, or phishing. This comes from the Google, which is maybe good. I don't know, but I like to bring your attention, and I really wonder your opinions, your analysis. Recently, as you know, Google raised concerns about the Google's new zip and move internet domain, warning that the threat actors could use them for phishing attacks and malware delivery. Early this month, in May, when I say early this month, Google introduced a new top-level domains, TDLs, that could be purchased for hosting websites or email addresses. The new domain addresses are .dad, .esq, .poprof, .phd, .nexus, .foo, and .zip.mov. So this zip and mov domains are a little bit dangerous from the security researchers, because while the zip and move TDS have been available since 2014, it wasn't until this month that they become generally available, allowing anyone to purchase the domain. So right now, anyone can purchase the .zip or .move files. Usually, as you know, those files are for archives and MPEG for videos. And the concern is there, it is very common for people to post instructions containing file names with the zip and mov extensions. However, now they are TDLs. Some messaging platforms and social media sites will automatically convert files names with the .zip and .mov extensions into the URLs. For example, on Twitter, if you send someone instructions on opening a zip file and accessing a mov file, the innocuous file names are converted into the URL. When people see URLs in instructions, they commonly think that the URL can be used to download the associated file and may click on the link. For example, linking file names like report.zip. This, instead of a file, this could be a malicious URL. However, if a threat actor owns the zip domain with the same name as link field name, a person may mistakenly visit the site and fall for the phishing scam or download malware, thinking the URL is safe because it came from trusted sources. While it is very unlikely that the threat actor will register thousands of domains to capture victims, you only need one corporate employee to mistakenly install the malware for the entire network, as you know, to be affected. And by the way, this abuse, I definitely again encourage you to take a look about this Google's new action. This attacks, the attacks we mentioned just right now, definitely not theoretical, it's practical, that can easily be done. So the last news I want to mention about you is, before previous webinars, we already talked about insider threats. As you know, insider threats are getting very dangerous, very important. There used to be this isn't that much threat to the organizations before, but it is right now one of the biggest threats to organizations, because the black hat hackers, they make a lot of money and they offer a lot of money to the insiders, and they just ask for initial accesses. And what happened in May, a 20-year-old United Kingdom man who lives in United Kingdom has been convicted of unauthorized computer access with the criminal intent and blackmailing his employer. So what this guy did is, he was working for the IT department for his organization, and he acted like he's a ransomware operator, he encrypted his organization's files like threat actors, and then he asked money. Of course, not he introduced himself as he is. He introduced himself as a ransomware operator, so his company, and tell his company if they want the files back, they have to pay him. Like many other ransomware attacks, the threat actors contacted company's executive demanding ransomware. This guy did the same thing, and then after the company owner wasn't interested in the paying attackers, and then there was an internal investigation under the way, and they analyzed this, and they realized actually the organization is not attacked by the ransomware operators at all. It was actually their IT staff who did this, and the guy is arrested, and the investigation is continue, I believe, for internal investigation. Of course, there is also the criminal investigation is going. This is a very interesting use case for me, because as I told you, threat actors actively trying to convince people to pay a lot of money and get the initial access. This guy didn't even wait for the threat actors. He did it himself. He made a plan. He said, okay, I don't have to wait for the for threat actors, or why should I pay them? I can get all the money by myself. So this is why this is a very interesting case for me, and I wanted to bring your attention. This shows us how in the future insider threats could be very dangerous. That's why we need zero trust security, zero trust architecture. I am trying to move the, okay, there it is. So last month, I also announced our intention to establish a CTI community by StockRadar. I am thrilled to announce that the launch of our brand new Discord server for the CTI community. This server is designed to bring together CTI analysts, researchers, and enthusiasts from around the world to share knowledge, insights, and the best practices. Here you can connect with the like-minded professionals, engage in discussions, ask questions, stay up to date with the latest news and developments in the CTI space. Our only aim is to create a vibrant and inclusive community where members can collaborate and learn from each other. And we invite you to join us on this exciting journey. So whenever you are seasoned CTI professional or just starting in the field, come and be part of our Discord community and take your CTI expertise to the next level. The server is in the beta version still. We have from the StockRadar, we have a lot of sources, and we want to open this public sources to you. So in Discord servers, you can find our reports, blogs, social media accounts. We have daily dark web, daily OSINT, daily CTI. They mention very useful tools, leakages. They are published in our server simultaneously. So whenever the blog is published in our website, you can find it our Discord. If there's a breach, important breach, which is published by the daily dark web, you can immediately can notification from our Discord server. We also open your opinions. Please lead us. For the next month, maybe we are working with our marketing team, changing the CyberWatch series infrastructure a little bit. Just mentioning the 10 top news could be sometimes not interesting. We thought maybe we can do 2 parts. In the first part, we can talk about the latest news in the next month, and the second part, we can invite colleagues and people like you and do the interview, talk about the latest developments. So maybe it could be better. If you have any other opinions, we are welcome. Just the thing we only want to do is, as I said, bringing the like-minded people, and without defense, together, defense, cooperation, there is no way we can prevent the black hat hackers. So we have to come together. We have to help each other. We share our knowledge. We have to share our expertise and know-how and the information. That's the main reason. As a community manager of the SOC-Radar, I wanted to establish this community. I'm going to share a link with you. You are more than welcome to join us. So if there is any questions, I can take the questions. If there is not a question, just let me share the Discord channel with you. As I said, any opinion, any contribution are more than welcome. In the near future, I believe our marketing team is gonna take much more serious actions to make our Discord channel much more useful for you. Of course, the feedbacks are very important from you because we wanna pave this road with your opinions and all. I think there is no questions so far. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, there's no question. Everything seems good. Thank you so much again joining me in today's webinar on the latest developments in cybersecurity. It was a pleasure to share my knowledge and insights with such a engaged and authenticated audience. I hope you found the session informative and valuable in understanding the top 10 cyber incidents that occurred in the past month. I believe that staying informed and aware of the latest cybersecurity risks and the trends is essential in today's fast-paced digital world. And I trust that the information shared today will help you safeguard yourself and your organization against potential harm. Once again, thank you for your participation and for being part of this webinar. I look forward to connecting with you all again in our future session. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and take care of yourself.